Continuing our coverage at the league meetings here in Arizona, a guy who came a long way to Arizona, all the way from Detroit, Michigan, head coach of the Detroit Lions entering year 2. He's Matt Patricia. Coach, welcome back to the set. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Every time I see that pencil in your ear, I think you're a former engineer. You should have a mechanical pencil, not a standard pencil.
No, this is a big conversation. So definitely a mechanical pencil guy. Good heavyweight sort of pencil was great. But as I got going through the process of breaking games and drawing pads and doing diagrams, that fine point of a good just number 2 is really works the best. They've Ticonderoga's come out with some pretty cool products. They send me them all the time. They try, but just good old-fashioned wooden pencil's the best.
Always. I mean, since when I was working in New England, he's always got one here. It could be Friday afternoon. Nobody's in the building anymore. And at 6 o'clock, and Matty P would be still sitting at his desk, and I'd be like, "Would you go home already?" But that's what he is, and that's why he's gotten where he is. I mean, he's unbelievable work ethic.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks. There's a lot of times where 100% will be like, God, I can't find my pencil anywhere, and it's right there. It's just always stuck. It's ready to go.
You had all those years with the Patriots, won Super Bowls in New England. How strange was it for you to watch the Patriots pursue another one, win another one, and you're not there to be part of it?
You know what? It was great. I mean, from a standpoint of a lot of wonderful feelings and friends and a lot of love for that organization and what they did for me and to help me, and obviously Coach Belichick, and the respect that I have for him and what he does and the Kraft family. So just was really excited for them, really happy for them to be able to go do that again. And, we're all chasing that organization. We're all trying to do what they do. And, honestly, just couldn't have been happier for them.
The big news of the week, Gronk retiring. What is the things you'll remember with your time with him in New England?
You know what? I mean, obviously, Rob's an unbelievable guy. I got a couple great stories. Really, a lot of it revolves my kids.
Yeah.
After practice in training camp and running on the field. And I remember my oldest son, Dominic, laying on his back while he's doing push-ups because he wanted to get extra work in and get that, extra pump. So he needed, a 45-pound kid to sit on his back so he could get a little extra weight going there. But just a great person, great guy. Someone that just loved the game and, still is all that. So,
yeah.
Just, again, and I haven't been there for a little bit. So, all that's just been the same since I left.
But on the field, just that specifically too, because I know you never had a coach against him until this year.
Sure.
And of course it's the last year of his career this year or whatever else, and maybe not in his prime. But when he was in his prime, what was it like watching him do work on the field all the time?
Well, I mean, I think, anybody that had to play him this year would probably argue that he still wasn't in his prime.
Right,
it's not an easy task to try to cover a guy like that. There's a lot of great tight ends in this league, and certainly, he's an example for all of them to try to follow. But work ethic, attitude, grit, grind it out, just all of it, is unbelievable to, and he's a good person. So, you can walk down the hall and kind of tease each other a little bit and just have that relationship. So really great.
I want to take you back to late January, early February of 2018. The Super Bowl, your last one with the team. In the days preceding, because I know from outside the walls of the organization, there was a sense that this could be it for Gronk, that if the Patriots win, he may walk off into the sunset. Did any of that thinking creep into the team? Were you hearing anything from players, from other coaches?
Yeah, you know what? I was kind of such in my own little world right there, trying to get ready for
do your job
for our game. I really don't pay attention to anything other than I have my own problems at that point.
Do your job, right? That's how do your job works.
There's no doubt. I mean, it's just kind of keep your head down and make sure you know what you're supposed to do and grinding away. And obviously, that particular game didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. So, just always got to keep the task at hand. That's the most important thing.
You're creating New England NFC North version. I mean, I know it's got your own splash to it, but just with the signings of Trey Flowers, Justin Coleman, what is it like? Explain to the people about setting culture and being comfortable with people that you've already been with before and what they can bring to the team.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely something we're building Detroit culture. I think that's the biggest thing for us. It's about Lion pride, and it's about what we are trying to do from a standpoint of what fits for our team. But certainly guys that are familiar with me and familiar with the demands of what we expect and kind of what it takes to get to that next level. We talk about all the time not letting good get in the way of great. And you see it with guys that this is something that we got from Doc Rivers years ago when he was at the Celtics. And it certainly was a situation where he said, guys would be like, hey, let's do a couple more free throws or let's take a couple more shots or whatever. And everyone would be like, no, I'm good. And it really resonated with me from that standpoint of we just want guys that want to be great, And for me, it's just, that's kind of what drives me, to just try to make sure I can do everything I can to help our players be successful. It's what keeps me up at night. It's what gets me up in the morning. That drive, that work ethic to kind of just outwork anybody I can in the league, to make sure that I'm doing everything for the players to allow them to be successful, because that's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
Even though Brian Flores didn't have the title of defensive coordinator, he essentially was last year, and after 1 year, he's now head coach of the Dolphins. What advice would you have for him, or have you given him, about how to make that transition after all those years with New England, trying to take over a new team that is very different, that has a different culture than what he's used to in New England?
Yeah, Flo's unbelievable. He's a really close friend. I talk to him, all the time, as much as possible. And anything I can do to help him, I'm going to try to do that going through that first year. There's a lot coming at you from different directions. And you know what? He's got such a good head on his shoulders as far as all that's concerned. He knows to be authentic and be yourself, and, build what you believe in. And he's going to do that. That's what he's going to be all about. And, I think all those guys down there are going to love him.
Did you stop and think, maybe not a good idea for him to stay in the same division with Bill? Maybe better to take your head coaching job in a different conference, or at least in a different division?
Yeah, so I got the Vikings, the Bears, and,
it's so easy.
We'll just stay.
You can handle all that.
We'll just stay in that division. We'll worry about those guys.
All right, so I want to talk about the quarterback a little bit. Your quarterback, who, before you got there, carried the squad in a lot of ways. And then this year, I always kind of just said maybe the culture change and the different style of play. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't his best year. What do you say about Matt Stafford going forward?
Well, I think, again, I've said this multiple times, he's our quarterback. He's a guy I believe in. He's a guy that's works extremely hard. I met with him a lot during the season, and we had some great meetings, whether it was watching tape or talking about the team, and he's extremely tough. So, I think he's got all that grit and the grind to kind of get it and do it the right way, and that's what he wants to do. So, I really enjoy being around him all the time. I think I got to do a better job of getting a team around him that can help him win, and that's my job. So, I got to look there first and just do a better job as the head coach, and keep cultivating the team and building. And we started a little bit of a foundation last year. I think the biggest questions I had in the spring, really last year, were how are we going to run the ball and how are we going to pressure the quarterback. And I think that's two areas you could walk out of the season saying, all right, well, we definitely kind of reestablished that vibe of being able to run the ball, and we were able to generate a lot of pass rush even without Ziggy, in the lineup. And so it's a building block, it's a foundation. And now, we just got to keep putting pieces around everybody to be successful. It's not about one guy, it's about the team. It's about all three phases working together, and just trying to do everything we can to prepare those guys to go win.
Yeah.
What is your realistic timetable for getting to the point where you want this team to be? Because last year the Bears quickly turned it around. That may create a greater sense of urgency, but what is your plan? How long does it take to get from where the team was when you walked through the door to get to where you want it to be?
Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously we got to do it right away. Everyone, there's timelines are now, we understand that. But, realistically, I think for us, we're just trying to build it the right way so that we have sustained success once we get it to where we want it to go. And certainly for the fans, we're trying to do that as quick as possible. We understand there is a little bit of a process to that. And, to be honest with you, the way that I look at the game and the way that I approach it, there's only one team happy at the end of the year. So, whether you're 10-6, 6-10, 9-7, 7-9, it's all the same from that standpoint. It's, I think the Rams had a better record in the end than the Patriots did, but, the Patriots are the Super Bowl champions. Right. So, for us, it's all about that last game, trying to win that, and how do you build towards that? Certainly we got a long way to go. But, that's what we're trying to do, and just make sure that we have the most complete roster we can have.
You, Bob Quinn, I got a lot of respect for Bob, what he does as the GM of the football team. Of course, you have history there in New England. How much dialogue is there? Or do you just go, I trust Bob, and he's got the vision of what I want? How does that go down?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of dialogue, which is great. And there has been since I walked in the door. And that's, what we envisioned from the start. And just both of us working together to try to put it together the right way. And as a team, understanding that, we need each other for this. And I can help him. He helps me a lot. So the greatest thing is that we speak the same language. We see the game the same way. And, it's really been interesting kind of being in this spot a year later, whereas it was such a scramble last year from a standpoint of staff and building and players and trying to just catch up, and especially getting a late start. I think the biggest thing people don't understand is the staff is not always as easy as you think it is. There's a lot of people that are under contract, or you may have missed a hiring cycle or something like that. So you're trying to put that together along with evaluate the players before free agency starts, and obviously work towards the draft. I think, Bob and his staff did a great job with the draft last year. We feel we got some guys through the draft that will really help us in the future. Maybe not a couple guys immediately and a couple guys, in a couple years. But from that standpoint, it was a good start. So hopefully we can get that done again. Got some pieces in free agency this year. So it's just been a little bit of a different kind of, I don't want to say a deep breath, but, last year was, again, you're drinking from the fire hose. You're trying to figure it out. So you got a little bit more of an approach this year, which is better.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun from our perspective to watch it unfold. We wish you all the best as you move forward, and we look forward to talking to you again soon down the road.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for having me on. I really do, and appreciate all the support. I'm rooting for you guys all the time.
Man.
Great to see you always.
My guy right here.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Good.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.